My name is Michelle Dorazio. I've been teaching for 8 years, and I teach conceptual physics, astrophysics, and physical science. Okay, so the first part of the prep work was I had to select something that I wanted them to do. So I chose the history of astronomy, and I wanted each person to feel what it was like to be a scientist or an astronomer during that time period. Because sometimes we don't necessarily think of these people as people, we think of them as names on a page. So I wanted them to put real life into these people. So started out with figuring out what questions I was going to ask, which is the most important part. What are you going to talk about in this discussion? And from there, what I did was I introduced my students to each of the scientists. So everybody read a biography, about a short one about each scientist that would have been represented. And then I had my students pick out of a hat which one that they were. And then throughout the few days beforehand, we talked about each scientist and their contributions to astronomy, but also their personal life to give them more of a personal feel. So how did they act? What was their personality like? Were they married? Were they not married? How old were they? So that the students could actually know how they were supposed to act in the Socratic seminar as that scientist. And it really gave the students an opportunity to talk, even if they didn't feel like they would necessarily give their own opinion because they were being someone else. I think you just have to sell it. So if you're going to do it, then you have to be all in. You can't say, well, we're going to try this out, or, you can say that, but you have to own it with your students and say, get into it. And my personality is kind of in their face, so I played my own scientist to kind of give the students an idea. And the day before the Socratic seminar, we kind of did a run through, and I talked with one of the students and had a discussion so that they sort of knew what was going to happen the next day and what I wanted them to do so that they weren't caught off guard. And I just really prepped them and acted really excited about it because I wanted them to be excited about it too, and I think that the teacher sets the tone.
Socratic seminars are a great way to begin a unit to generate more meaning-centered questions or as a cumulative activity at the end of a unit. Mrs. Dorazio has raised the DOK level of this task by asking her students to complete the entire roundtable discussion portraying a famous scientist they've researched. Note how Mrs. Dorazio serves as facilitator throughout the discussion, but never jumps in and tells her students what to think or say. With Socratic Seminar, you want your students to base their responses around textual evidence and their opinions, and play off one another as they improve their questioning, listening, and communication skills. Please enjoy this small sample from Mrs. Dorazio's class.